Hey y'all, that's my little buddy today. Just finishing up getting these, well, most of the onions and carrots in. Got this old garden broke up this afternoon and rode up. That old tiller made quick work of it, but it doesn't have a row option on it. So we had to do that by hand, but that's okay. I'm ready to get that plow back because that's gonna need it for out there in the big garden. But this hen has been by my side out here in this dirt since before lunch. I looked up one time and she had a little old garter snake or something, but she's been my wing bird. Can't call her a wingman since it's a hen, right? But all the rest of them, they'd come and they'd leave, but that one stuck around. So her and I have worked on the garden today. Jordan finished breaking up, straightening out this plot out here today, and that was cool. I think we walked it off, started doing. We're gonna have to start mapping it out. I think it's right at 9,000 square feet, and I sure had my eyeballs on it last summer, and I think we're there. So we'll have let me turn it around real quick. So we got that new part broke up, but we are ready to start getting ready to plant. I've got on the agenda is going to be getting the potatoes in. I'm going to put the tomatoes when it comes time over here by this pine tree because it'll be a little bit more acidic. But we'll put the potatoes up here on this hill. I've got a special guest that'll be here the weekend of February 15th. Actually, two special guests. You'll have to stick around for that. I'm really looking forward to that. It's going to be a neat evening. But one of them is going to help me plant, and it's you'll appreciate the story when we get there. We'll just leave it at that. How's that, right? But it's been a good day. My sister texted me a little bit earlier and kind of gave me a start. She said I have how do you pronounce it? She said I have a antimacassar in my house. I was like, what in the world is that? I thought I knew all the words or most of the words that folks use. She was right. I got one in there. Y'all know what that is? I didn't until she told me. I'll let y'all think about it without Googling, see if you can guess what that is. But I sure got one in the house. In fact, it was the subject of her shabby chicness when they came and kind of spruced up the old house last summer. And I had to move this particular item off of where it was at. But anyway, I got to talk with a couple of good friends today. One in particular that met him he worked for me as a young man, Jasper, Texas, and really kept up with him over the years. And as life goes, he's faced some storms and doing a lot better now. And it's first time to talk in several years. And of course, he had some battles with substance abuse and has worked through those and in full recovery and doing well. I was happy to hear that. And talking about it, and those that have experienced that in their life close to them, I had a couple of family members and some real dear friends that have lost that battle, and some of them have pushed through it and are doing well. But it's always tough. But he and I talking about it, and he's looking for the day that you don't have to talk about it anymore. It's not part of his life anymore. And I had to encourage him and let him know that since the distance, I didn't even know that part of his life. So to me, he was the same old good friend that I always knew. And that kind of lifted him up, made me feel good. But I made a statement to him, and after I hung up, it kind of bothered me as I thought through it. And I guess in some aspects it's true and some it's not. But all the bad decisions I've made in my life and things I've had to experience on my own ignorance, having a drug problem was not one of them. At least that's what I told him, and I hung up and I'm like, wait a minute. I guess I did have a little issue with drugs of some sort. See, I was drugged to church 3 or 4 times a week, drugged to clean my room, drugged to get out here and weed this old garden back when I was a kid. And if I didn't say yes sir, no ma'am, I was drug up the stairs and recorrected with an old belt. If I didn't get right sitting on that pew from that ear pinch. You ever have one of them ear pinches? You sitting there, me and Kimberly remember that. Sitting there on the church pew, and next to mom and dad, and you think you're just out of reach. You go to cutting up a little bit, and all of a sudden that ear starts turning. And if you wince, it gets worse. So you just have to take it and correct your behavior quickly. But if I didn't, then I was drug out, and we'll leave it at had a real stern talking to. How about that? We'll just leave it at that. So I guess I did have somewhat of a drug problem, and maybe that's the reason I am what I am today. To eventually have to get drug into that good behavior, and it takes hold, and hopefully it sticks enough to where you learn that behavior, right? So I guess I have to recant my statement to him, and that I didn't have a problem with drugs. I had a problem with being drugged, I guess. I'm proud of these old chickens. I was out here working today, and I don't let them out much with all them hawks flying around. And in between tilling, I heard old hawk cry, and I looked around. Every one of them ran in the chicken coop, so they're learning. Get out of here! time to seek cover. So we're still. The hawk has not profited any chicken dinners lately. Today marks the first day of 2019 that we're back up to a dozen eggs. How about that? Dozen eggs today. So we're happy about that. So what is that and see, I don't even remember how to say it. I had to look it up 4 times. Anyway, I have a doily in the house. It's not on the chair anymore, because I couldn't deal with that. It's on the little sewing table thing, because Kimberly said it had to stay. So it's there. And it's called an antimacassar or something. There's another word for it, but a doily is a doily. Anyway, enough about that. But she sure scared me when she texted me and told me I had one. I thought something bad was in the house. It's like that old time talking about bad decisions. I was probably, I don't know, 14, 15. Me and a friend talking about this last night. I remembered it. I was staying with Mima for whatever reason, and my cousin and I, being boneheaded teenagers, wanted to go cruise around town. Well, the only way to do that, I had to slip out of the house, and the plan was to meet him back yonder, because the loop comes by. I didn't know how he was going to get there, but about midnight, we was going to go joyriding, not doing anything wrong. And so I slipped out of the house, Mima was asleep. And I remember walking down that lane in the pasture, and I hit the top of that hill, and heard something scream right beside me in the woods. And y'all know what that is, probably some old cat or something. All I know is I have never ran that fast in my life back to that old house. All I heard was wind rushing through me, and I hit that back door, hit the bed. Of course, made all kind of noise. I didn't care at that point. Next thing I know, I hear shuffling the feet. Mama coming down the hall. Baby, is that you? I said, yes, ma'am. She said, what are you doing? I said, I'm going to sleep. And that was the video of those escapades. I didn't know what that was in the woods and didn't want to find out. So, but maybe they won't get the chickens if there's still one around, right? Well, it's been a good day, and we got about 200 onions in the ground, about 200 more to plant. Got some red ones, and I had to get the 10-15s. I'm gonna have 3 rows of them, or at least 2 rows. Got some more carrots in the ground. Probably put a little lettuce in. We could do that. And we're about 2 weeks away from potatoes, but looking forward to having plenty of produce. So we're gonna have it. Pastor loves to pour slab, right? He loves building and expanding, and he loves pouring slab as much as I love breaking ground. I don't know this. I may not have anything to mow by the time I get done. That won't be bad, will it? I'm gonna have more onions than I know what to do with. Somebody made a comment. I had no idea there was that many of them onions in there. Whew. Well, they'll freeze, won't they? Well, hey, let me see what y'all are saying here, and we'll sign off for the evening. That sun's about to set. I need me a rooster. I got to looking for some roosters today, and I already know that roosters are, most of the time, they're culled, because once you have 1 or 2, that's all you need. And I'm going to lay out for a free one. There's a few on there, but I ain't driving 2 hours to get a rooster for $10. So if y'all know of a rooster around Nacogdoches area that needs a good home, we gotta do something for a while. Get him some backup out there since he's rested. And we'll have to get us an old rooster again. But I'll get one. But if y'all know one, feel free to reach out to the page, let me know, and I'll go get him. But I ain't going 2 hours. Ain't no sense in all that. That don't even make no sense, does it? All right, let's see who all's on here. Happy Saturday to Mike out in California. Good to see you, buddy. There's Patty. Yeah, we made hay while the sun shines, they say, Patty. Says a beautiful day in Parker County. I talked to CEO of our company today. Had some last minute questions about some things. Of course, he's enjoying the Saturday. I was out in the middle of plowing. He called me. Wondered what in the world I'm calling him on a Saturday for. We got to joking. -10 where he's at, just a few hundred miles north of here, and I'm out here in almost 70-degree weather. Isn't that something? Let's see. Carolyn Fuller in Missouri, how are you? There's Vicky. What a beautiful day. God slipped into the dead of winter for y'all in North Carolina. Well, good. I'm glad y'all had some sunshine up that way. There's Miss Charlotte. How are you, ma'am? And Tanya's on. How are you? From Lumberton, Texas. And there's Peggy in Alabama. Manuel. What you will have is a large garden and a whole lot for sale, I hope. I don't intend on selling much of it, Manuel. We got enough folks going to that church that could use some, so I'm probably gonna have trouble giving it away. There's Linda. How are you? And Miss Ladina. Yeah, we hope to. Good to see you, ma'am. Melinda's up in Oregon. She's probably out headed to do her chores if she hadn't already got them done. There's Miss Joanne Smith. And Pamela. Yep, dozen eggs. How about that? When y'all think we're gonna get our first baker dozen? Think it'll happen tomorrow? I don't know. We'll see. I'll sure let you know. Let's see. There's Manuel. Say bye to the mower and hi to the tiller. That's right. And there's Trudy. I'm cooking dinner. Well, that sounds good. I need to rustle me up some victuals here in a minute. Well, look at that. Them chickens are happy as all get out. Got a little green grass. And, I think this old ground has got tricked into thinking it's spring, but it's probably going to have a rude awakening any time. But we're getting ready. So y'all have a good evening, and we'll go watch this sunset and enjoy it. We'll have a story about that. I read something I want to share. Just got to think on it a little bit. But beautiful story about some marbles and sunset. Made me think. We'll talk about that next time. Y'all be the light. Have a good evening. Hope you're planning to celebrate your faith somewhere in the morning. Celebrate the moments and make all of them count. We'll talk to you later.